Blood for the Providence. Blood for the Providence. Call for the moon. Game sun, call for the moon. Parade at the ocean. Survived it like a refugee for the way too many problems. You followed the leader for your blues is on. You're stranded for the blood for the Providence. If only you knew were true for the wake up of the finding yourself for the wedding, but the only to have the road down the line for the punching on the board for this drive is killing me. What's in it for the little house of savages to the cat on the roof? Traveling in the papers to ease your mind. Only them asking of you so endless parables so to know when you notify the king. Your dead paradise of the lost divinely free. Nothing the same through roof if remember for the keeping the living forever breaking it down. Who's gonna make that hour pass? Who's gonna drink from that hourglass? And they're gonna make an honest attempt to words to describe what I'm trying to say. How I feel right now for the emotional state. Sell the thoughts for the free thought. I had that when it was a building and fell. I fall to the top of the thought for nothing to steal the time. The day before yesterday under the circle the echoes and she's fine. He's still in love with the deep water ring with faith. Dreamless leaps in the hope of the sky. The diving for the swing sets are slow. For the step to try anything to try to never just to hold that ocean straight. A future with the sun when you have no eyes to look at the condition of the secret with the sound. Bandit with the clothes, hold. Notice that you're building in there with the picture in the frame and tied to the sketch. It's getting harder to tell in this section of the year with all these universal numbers in this long time ahead of us. We've been had so easier for the mind to get more out of life for the divine to free keep. Yo, living in an I'm do with the be the point blank for the lip of the love and no taking the time off of work where you can find what you do with the missing your train of thought. It was never undermined or misunderstood for the sense. The day I had sense, the day I discovered the love, I had a fragrance in my heart, still grasped for the air of acceptance, and now I better understand and appreciate the dust. It's all time spent for the wind to tell us which direction the home is. My imaginary friend who can't see, but you know she's there with the peaceful scene. We call it despair with the lone for the known to the first, for the distance of the fears of you can remember that time for the season to pass. Something died there, I couldn't find them, it's steady the peace to be still. I go back there for the dinner, for the distance of the sun. Making it a death storm for you, always in 1,000,000 as an effort to find yourself lonely enough for the sense of direction to shine a light. Through these, the cosmos, the mind could be sort of like the blood traveling inside of your brain. Don't hide your face, or don't know the place where you stand from. Have all the beef if you could do what you say and what I think now. And right now I think it only the love is a mirror reflecting your love. From the light of your mouth and the sky opening, set free, we dance. Slow for the decades of the passing seasons, then like a season drifting into no destination for the sunsets, the tables for the stars. We forgot. The brightest minds can't say what they really feel, but better left unsaid, for you can't make me cry over the aim is true. You're so long to be hurt, buried underground for the progress. Promise next to that bloodstream. And the view was honestly a big picture of the structure with the never river, the windows and crossing the iron bars. Much to gloom. Here for the only birds you know. What time can make to sing songs like it's too good to be true? For the call to feather brain, for the other to rhyme the gang slangs, with the winter blues and haikus. You can't count the numbers of the rhythm with the ridicule, the primitive problem. You keep the core obsolete, and of course some will be superstitious or reprimanded by that we have other colored emotions in the family of tongues. Don't you listen? Don't be a faith breaker, you're still only a child with the remains of your soul. Kids need to calm down when they move into the idol of the king.
A future with the sun. 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 A future with the sun when you have no eyes to look at. A future with the sun when you have no eyes to look at the chin of the secret with the sound. Bandit with the clothes hold. Notice that you're building in there with the picture in the frame and tied to the sketch. Future with the sun. A future with the sun. A future with the sun when you have no. A future with the sun when you have no. A future with the sun when you have no eyes to look at the. A future with the sun. A future with the sun when you have no eyes to look at the another secret with the sound. Bandit with the clothes. Notice that you're building in there with the picture in the frame and tiny the sketch. It's getting harder to tell in this section of the year. With all these universal numbers in this long time. A future with the sun when you have no. A future with the sun when you have no eyes to look at the another secret with the sound. Bandit with the clothes. A future with the sun when you have no eyes to look at the another secret with the sound. Bandit with the clothes. Notice that you're building in there with the picture in the frame behind the sketch. It's getting harder to tell in this section of the year. With all these universal numbers in this long time ahead of us. We've been had so easier for the mind to get more out of life for the divine if we keep your.
Hey everybody, the name's Albin. Pretty easy name to pronounce, Albin. But when people try to read my name, they run into a whole lot of trouble. And that's because of the funny little way that my name, Albin, is spelled. See, my name's pronounced Albin, but it's actually spelled
BRFXCXMNBRXBRFXCXLMNBRXB111116.
Did you get that? I'll go through it one more time. It's BRFXCXMNBCCXMNBRXCLMNCKSSQLBB111116. The 6 is silent. And so is every other part of it.
Mystery, smell of failure, who found truth, laughing gas, staring at the dashboard, mess, hitting the wall for the messing with the rope, saw the evening with the breeze of the suicide wings and the optimist and never cried. Only if you let it, life change, no hereditary strings attached, opposites attract, mirrors to practice your moonwalk, good at being yourself with the focus and never the lock and keep for the hands that believe it. You can never not say anything kind of in vain, under hostage, finding every purpose of the entry, getting out of the head for what you should or do say. This is you find the X and limitations for you to be back and can connect the dark to the stars to see God transforming space and matter. Everything is on beat all time for the one day to unfold for the picture with the striking of opposed of becoming undone. Stand entirely. Architecture to denounce, denoted. The tongue tied around your neck. You killed it. It was scattered sarcasm, all sort of separately according to the general demographics of the all counterparts. Departed for the attraction, it was lost, apparently drifting out of the sea for seasons on passing. You can find that love like flight heights to this to be enough, the new subject for the talk about for the budget, the drought. Make you for the manifested, making a mess and make you come clean for all what's left behind for the property store for the unseen. We spoke about your side and tribute and the mention of the meaning of an apology for offer to take me all the time. Then what is it really about? Take the time to tell me. Plaques, crystal skulls, spoons, and idle fools. We both have the same for so long for the observer with the signs. She's a river with no place to run. Ties of the weary eyes that return into the sky. Where gifts are presented to those who come outside the body for the love, another for the own, for only you for the comments. Want all this for the wing, the things we look up for the follows of light to read. Reading the marble for the moving of a fawn. Follow me to the changing place and undenied for the reservoirs of green grass. Away to where the night moves in diversity fit before I leave the mess of the memories. And I like to be waiting here for always to be like I've been here before. It would ever the benefit for the only the early enough that you could sing a song for the can't hit the note, but I can rhyme to it. Always walk along and it must be abstract enough. Upon this rock for the idle eyes and impossible space of the lonely universe can't wait till the tomorrow with a dance. But the decades and it was young enough for the brightest minds and bloodiest hearts is all practiced and understood. Understand we need a break for this human wall I've been building.
I feel what do I have about that? After twilight, the moon appeared in the sky, then it was landed, but the earth looked at me and hawks
Post
shrilling
that
like
for the
a
weight,
bird
for
for
the
the
rough,
time
for
of
the
the
harder,
bright
the
moon.
reaching, easy to teach, to modify. Well enough to help me for the help. This is to be the orbit exercise for the no X and no limitation. The yourself for the manifesto, the always grist of that mold. No, the bad episode for the feeling, the eyes down amongst the shadow for there. I was gonna say the end of the really don't want it to be the door that to penetrate and making the points for the some abstract meaning for the brief commentary. Just some rights in the black economy. It would be the art we live to give. Who hosts that for the weight, for the rough, the harder to reaching, easy to teach, to modify. Well enough to help me for the help. This is to be the orbit exercise for the no X and no limitation. The yourself for the manifesto, the always grist of that mold. No, the bad episode for the feeling, the eyes down amongst the shadow for there. I was gonna say the end of the really don't want it to be the door that to penetrate and making the points for the some abstract meaning for the brief commentary. Just some rights in the black economy. It would be the art we live to give.
Blood for the Providence.
Blood for the Providence. Game sun caught for the moon, parade at the ocean. Survived it like a refugee for the way too many problems. You followed the leader for your blues is only stranded for the blood for the Providence. If only you knew were true for the wake up of the finding yourself for the wedding, with the only to have the road down the line for the punching I never bore for this job is killing me. What's in it for the little house of savages to the cat on the roof? Traveling in the papers to ease your mind. Only the masking of you so immense, the parables of the knowing you notified the king. Your dead paradise of the lost divinely free. Nothing the same through if remember for the keeping the living forever breaking it down. Who's gonna make that hour pass? Who's gonna drink from that hourglass? And they're gonna make an honest attempt to words to describe what I'm trying to say. How I feel right now for the emotional state. Sell thoughts for the free thought. I had that when it was a building and fell. I fall from the top of the thoughts for nothing that stood the time. The day before yesterday under the circle the echoes and she's fine. He's still in love with the deep water in good faith. Dreamless leaps in hope, the sky of the diving for the swing sets is slow. For the step to try anything to try to never to just to hold that ocean still. With the safety of an open mind for the exit wounds. Ruin that for the summer dressing you still got pulled. Then the plans to the water with the light the solar on the rise. Memories in you and I for this sun can be responsible enough to cross my heart with the sentiments. You collected for the prawns you can make me feel it in the falling your trees. Island grows of a miracle all for spring. Strange land with no bridge under the water. The conditions in the gorge scraping the ambition for the class. You left behind those who walk about for the channels of desire lanes and lost roads. What's building behind that black market that don't seem to crash? It seems brighter with the water for the grass to just add the windshields. Can't contain into the nightlight. I reckon the peace be still. Drift like gears to those who drift like particles in the landscape for the privilege to support that it would be that's at the end of the right to be included for the long run for the wings that don't behave. Better believe he's a bright one. Watch anew for the who created the storms of the ocean for the longing of the night for the surviving of the darkness and the relevant of the blue was the blessed stranded for the how many years it was true for the enough of the time I lost it I thought it was a thought. Revenge and awares no wristwatch. But should it take time? Wow, who justified the teasing of the holy soul? Don't worry, you'll be the star divine for the free for you. Remember the irony of finding a map with the point blank and all you're sorrowing yourself you're all alone. Float on the water for the lifeguard for the duty, to having the giving along for the overdue with the route for the ETA connection, the monologue for the keys of the cliche for the closet, and minutes anywhere. You find no division for the nothing will be divided, especially for the descendants inside of the mind. Confessions, an adolescent for the owner, the subliminal observation, the cleat, incomplete. This is the bottom line. Face those regards to deception of the purpose of they consolidate for the mission statement of all the wrong to open your ears to the passion and to lay a rest. You open your oppressed peers of yours ears that can't say goodbye forever in search of that song. Meaningless in the place in the victory boulevard. You know, place the boys allow for the apology for the mystery and the smell of the failure for the who found the truth and laughing after staring at the dashboard for the pandemonium. You're messing with the hitting a wall for the only to find the breeze and this a rover you saw for the evening. Suicide wings to the optimist and never cried, and only if you knew what a life changed. A heredity, no strings attached, and opposites attract the mirrors to practice the moonwalk. Good at being yourself, and never artificially, truly. Overlooking those and nobody cares about the brace of the new not found for the created logic and behold that autofocus and never looking up for the light can keep it the hands down, believe it or not. Say you kinda like the kind in the vein for the under the hostage to find the repurpose of the entry. Get out of the head for whatever you should say for the allows you to think for the unspoken words of forward enough for the love. The thinking love notes about the author still and written for the owner the acronyms to define the BS. You tried this, but they were all in tonight. Everything will retrieve it enough for the tomorrow for the due time for the glance in the heavens mirror that's still like the Kai. I, sky, king, this the eye, the sky, the experience, the serverless for the choice of the week. And if you think seems wrong enough, the feeling for the love of the light. Dream to know it's getting rough.
I fear what? Do I have about that? I fear what? Do I have about that? After twilight, the moon appeared in the sky, then it was landed, but the earth looked at me and hawks strilling like a bird for the time, but the pale moon stole me, rushed back into the sky, looked at myself and did not see me anymore. For when the moon body turned, its finest soul and the 9 spheres disappeared in that existence drowned in the sea. Be with those who help your being. Don't sit with the indifferent and those who breathe. Comes cold out their mouth, but the physical forms of work is deeper. Chunking at the dirt and throwing put the air, put the bacon to pieces, and if you don't try to fly. Break yourself apart for the broken and by death, and too late for that you can come. Leaves yet yellow, trees put for the fresh fruits. Makes them green, why are you so content with the love that turns you yellow? I was here, part of the land. A candle in my heart, ready to be kindled. A void in the soul and ready to be filled, and I can feel it, and don't you feel the separation from other beloved, and rather him to feel the fire. Embrace that. Remind those who want it otherwise, and love comes to you of its own accord, and you yearn for it. You're not learning in any school. Hush, don't say nothing but the passionate words. These are no need for companion. Nasty, sad, and sour with the one who, like a grave dark depressing, with a bittersweet heart, with the mirror, friend of a delicious cake for the instant worth, spinning for the hour, anyone else, the companion who love with 1-5 district character, stone-hearted for the unsure, every step lazy and in this sense. Keeping the poisonous face for the more companion waits around for the bitter everything with the vinegar. Getting more sour for the time enough. I fear what? Do I have but that? After twilight, the moon appeared in the sky, then it was landed, but the earth looked at me and hawks strilling like a bird for the time, but the pale moon stole me, rushed back into the sky, looked at myself and did not see me anymore. For when the moon body turned, its finest soul and the 9 spheres disappeared in that existence drowned in the sea. Be with those who help your being. Don't sit with the indifferent and those who breathe. Comes cold out their mouth, but the physical forms of work is deeper. Chunking at the dirt and throwing put the air, put the bacon to pieces, and if you don't try to fly. Break yourself apart for the broken and by death, and too late for that you can come. Leaves yet yellow, trees put for the fresh fruits. Makes them green, why are you so content with the love that turns you yellow? I was here, part of the land. A candle in my heart, ready to be kindled. A void in the soul and ready to be filled, and I can feel it, and don't you feel the separation from other beloved, and rather him to feel the fire. Embrace that. Remind those who want it otherwise, and love comes to you of its own accord, and you yearn for it. You're not learning in any school. Hush, don't say nothing but the passionate words. These are no need for companion. Nasty, sad, and sour with the one who, like a grave dark depressing, with a bittersweet heart, with the mirror, friend of a delicious cake for the instant worth, spinning for the hour, anyone else, the companion who love with 1-5 district character, stone-hearted for the unsure, every step lazy and in this sense. Keeping the poisonous face for the more companion waits around for the bitter everything with the vinegar. Getting more sour for the time enough. I fear what? Do I have but that? After twilight, the moon appeared in the sky, then it was landed, but the earth looked at me and hawks strilling like a bird for the time, but the pale moon stole me, rushed back into the sky, looked at myself and did not see me anymore. For when the moon body turned, its finest soul and the 9 spheres disappeared in that existence drowned in the sea. Be with those who help your being. Don't sit with the indifferent and those who breathe. Comes cold out their mouth, but the physical forms of work is deeper. Chunking of the dirt and throwing, put the air, put the bacon to pieces, and if you don't try to fly. Break yourself for the part, for the broken, and bar death, and too late for the you can come. Leaves yet yellow, trees put for the fresh fruits. Makes them green, why are you so content with the love that turns you yellow? I'm a seer, part of the land. A candle in my heart, ready to be kindled. A void in the soul and ready to be filled, and I can feel it, and don't you feel the separation from other beloved, and rather him to feel the fire. Embrace that. Remind those who want it otherwise, and love comes to you of its own accord, and you yearn for it. Cannot learn in any school. Hush, don't say nothing but the passionate words. These are no need for a companion. Nasty, sad, and sour, the one who, like a grave, dark, depressing, with a bittersweet heart, with the mirror, friend of a delicious cake for the instant worth, spinning for the opera, anyone else, the companion in love with 1-5 district character, stone-hearted for the unsure, every step, lazy and innocent. Keeping the poisonous face for the more companion waits around for the bitter everything with the vinegar. Getting more sour for the time enough, I fear would, do I have but death. After twilight, a moon appeared in the sky, then it was landed, but the earth looked at me and hawked, strilling like a bird for the time, but the prey moon stole me, rushed back into the sky, looked at myself, and did not see me anymore. For in the moonlight, it turned.
After twilight, in the sky, then it was landed, but the earth looked at me and hawked, strilling like a bird for the time, but the prey moon stole me, rushed back into the sky, looked at myself, and did not see me anymore. Existence drowned after twilight appeared in the sky, the earth looked at me and hawked, strilling like a bird for the time, the prey moon stole me, rushed back into the sky, looked at myself, and did not see me anymore. When the moonlight turned, the soul disappears, and if you don't try to fly, existence drowned, break yourself for the part, for the broken, and bar death. Too late for the those who have you, those who have you, indifferent, those who free, those who create out their mouth, and those who create out their mouth, so if the forms of word turn you down with the air, trying to get there, don't try to make it a piece, and if you don't try to fly, part for the broken, and bar yourself for the part, for the you can come out of it, do I have a death? Twilight, the sky, and the earth, you know, straight, the time, stole me, into the sky, look at myself, and not see me. When the moonlight, so is mine, so is this period. Since I'm trying to see, do I have a death? 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 After twilight, the moon appeared in the sky, and the earth looked at me and hawked, strilling like a bird for the time, the prey moon stole me, rushed back into the sky, looked at myself, and did not see me. Do I have a death?